What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Day 15 of my 31-day Halloween horror movie review challenge. And I wanted to go old school, like something that's before my time. I'm a 90s baby. I was born in 1990. I was going with something that came out in 1978, a movie I haven't watched in, man, I forgot. It's been a long time. It's something memorable. Halloween. John Carpenter's Halloween. Man, 1978. Yeah, that's been a while, bro. I think my dad was in middle school or high school when that came out. But anyway, yeah, I wanted to go back and watch some real classic, like way back in the day, classic horror movies. I'm going to go back and watch some Friday the 13th stuff in that era. And I wanted to start with Halloween and see how it holds up now in 2025. And quite to my surprise, this movie was even better than I remember it. Now, it did have some funny moments that I am going to address, but first and foremost, Halloween holds up very well in 2025. The score, which by the way, let me know in the comment section, is there another Halloween horror, whatever you want to say, score, music, whatever, that holds up just as good as Halloween's? I don't think so. I was thinking about it as I was watching it, the feel of, obviously the famous tune of Halloween, but even the other tunes that was in it throughout the whole movie, the high-pitched sound one and, the famous piano sound of Halloween. I don't think there's been another horror movie. Let me know in the comment section that holds as well as that. Even as memorable as, I know we got the Jaws sound. We got that. But it's nothing that's clicking that holds as well as Halloween does. And I think if I have to say it right now, I think Halloween has the best memorable classic music in horror history. Is it the best horror movie of all time? I'm not going to say that. It's up there. But still, the music alone, it brings an uneasy feeling. And I like that. I like it. Nothing is happening in the movie, but when that music plays, you're glued. You're paying attention. And I love that feel. Michael is, I know they've had different interpretations throughout the year, and shout out to Rob Zombie. He don't get enough praise, but I think Rob Zombie's version of Michael Myers was done very well. Actually, I like his better than the recent ones. The recent one wasn't terrible, but I would take Rob Zombie's over that. But yeah, anyway, Michael Myers, definitely a classic character. I love his presence on screen in this movie. That's something I forgot. I always remember the scenes, but I forgot how gripping it was with him just watching somebody. I love the camera angles that they had where Michael is staring at someone and you see maybe the right side of his face and you see his point of view of looking at someone and the breathing under the mask. It was something unsettling about it, and I loved it. I love it. He didn't have to do much but stand there and just breathe. And you hear it. As you just watch somebody's walking across the street, which I will say, are y'all people blind? I gotta say that the ones that he's watching, he's literally standing in the middle of the street. And yes, there's a tree, I guess, blocking him, but if you look at the camera angle, the tree is it's covering a piece of them. It's not covering all of them. He's just standing there looking at them. And they're just not noticing. They're face to face to him. They're across the street, but they look face to face to him. And Michael Myers is a big dude. It was you don't see a dude just standing there, Halloween or not. He's the only one over there in broad daylight doing that. It is y'all don't see that? But anyway. Yeah, I love Michael, bro. I love his storyline, the way he's set up in here. Shout out to Jamie Lee Curtis, in my opinion. The same way I said that Halloween's music might be the best in horror franchise history, Jamie Lee Curtis might be the best, I guess you could say, horror hero in franchise history. A legend, first of all. The fact that she came back for the later ones I thought was pretty cool. But she might be up there. Not just female actress for horror, but just in general, actor, actress, whatever you want to say. Just as a character, she is the best. She might be the best hero in horror history. When you look at her, you look at, what was her name? Neve Campbell, the one who played Sidney Prescott in Scream. Sigourney Weaver, who played Ripley in Scream. Alien. They might be up there in the Mount Rushmore. Who is your Mount Rushmore of horror heroes, I guess you could say? Yeah, in history from old times to now, who is the best? Now, I do want to point out something that made me laugh and it wasn't supposed to in this movie. This will also let you know that this is an old movie because it was two scenes and one of them made me laugh and like I said, it wasn't supposed to. So, a little spoiler, I mean, in case you haven't seen it, even though it came out in 1979, but in case you didn't see it, there's a part in the beginning of the movie where there's a kill. Michael Myers, as a kid, he kills a certain person. And it's this lady. This lady's like doing her makeup, her hair, or something like that. Bro, that kill had me laughing. Because, first off, like I said, I love how they have Michael like point of view, so the camera's following him. You see it through his eyes. And as a kid, he has his knife, and he's just like stabbing the girl that's in front of him, right? Bro, the way she was suffering, and I put it like this, suffering, was hilarious. Because I don't know if she was in pain or was turned on by the kill. Y'all, you have to watch that scene. It's in the beginning of the movie. You can't miss it. But bro, I did not remember that. Remember it being like that at all, bro. She was like, "Oh, Michael, oh." I was like, and she was going for a minute, and I was like, "Are you dead or are you finished?" If you know what I mean, because it was like, bro, what? the director saw that and was like, "Yeah, she's in pain." Bro. The only way I knew she was dead was because the movie said she was. I would have never known because of how she sounded. And I gave you a lighter version because I feel weird saying that. The act sounded like that. But I was sitting there like, as soon as I turned the movie on, I got all comfortable while I get ready to watch the movie. And then that part comes on. I'm sitting there. Wait. I'm hearing this right. Wait, hold on now. Is Michael stabbing her, turning her on? Do you like getting, like, you realize that you're dying, right? You do realize you're about to leave this earth, right? Why do you sound pleasured? It was just weird. And then there was a second part later in the movie where Michael took out this other person. He was like choking him out with his hand. Bro, first off, that scene lasted a little too long where Michael's just standing there like this. And she's acting like she's strangling. Bro, the acting on that had me laughing. I was like, she was over Mind you, Michael's not even moving. He's just doing this. You don't see no, like, sign of him really, like, trying to grab to, squeeze. He's just standing like this. And it's like she was jumping. I was like, those two, it's not matching. It's not matching here. Again, this movie wasn't 1978, but it was just something you catch now when I'm older in 2025 now. It's just something you catch. And then the funniest part was, after a long, like I said, it lasted way too long in my opinion. After that, Michael grabs his knife and does this to her neck, right? She does this. I am not joking. She probably didn't work. She did. I'm going to show you a little bit, but it was more exaggerated than this. She did, and she went, I was like, what kind of acting? What was that? It was like, and not all the kills were like that because it was weird because other people who died, they knew how to act like they was dying. But this one girl in the car, it was like she was doing some contemporary dance and doing this thing with her face after Michael did this. It was like, he already did this. What's all this contemporary? It just felt so weird. I felt weird doing that. But that made me laugh. But those are only two parts. One thing I do want to say, and I hope they bring this stuff back, though, when it comes to horror movies, is I love the cameras in the 70s. It's something about not having that HD feel. And it's those, the pixels and how it looked, the old look. And I know I don't think they did that on purpose. It was just that's how the cameras were in the 70s. But yeah, sorry, I had to fix something real quick. But it was just something unsettling about it. And I loved it. I was like, you know what? We need to have more horror films like this. I know there's some movies that have that kind of old camera feel to it that comes out now. But we need them in the horror genre. You know what I'm saying? And, I'm pretty sure they didn't do that on purpose. They just got, like I said, what they had. But As much as I like the HD feel with these cameras and all that stuff, the clear and sharpness of it, there are some movies like Halloween, in my opinion, that needs that feel. Just saying, a little nugget in there I noticed. But yeah, I think it was better than what I remember. Like I said, I haven't seen it in so long. As much as I remember Michael, you know what I'm saying? I haven't seen this movie in particular in a long. I can't remember when it was. It was a long time ago. I'm 34, going 35. I think I was 19 or 20. I'm assuming it was something like around there. So it was a long time. So it was nice to see it again, and I believe it holds up very well. Outside of the couple kills, yo, please go on YouTube or something and look up the beginning kill of Michael when he was a kid. That was that was weird. That was weird. Anyway, yeah, day 15 in the books. There goes another to the day. Shout out to Halloween. In my opinion, yeah, Michael is on the Mount Rushmore of horror characters. One day I'll talk about who I have my top four, my opinion of top four, but I will give you that. Michael is definitely up there. The other three, I'll have to let you know. All right.